So Pixar did Studio Ghibli better than Studio Ghibli? Well, judging by the fact that Earwig and the Witch was the last Studio Ghibli film to be released, I have to agree with The Guardian on this one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Mr. Writer speaking, and welcome to the show. Today, I bring you my review of the new Disney and Pixar film, Luca. Directed by Enrico Casarosa and released on Disney Plus in 2021, Luca is about a young sea monster named, well, obviously, Luca, who, while tends to his flock of sheep fish, I guess that's what you can call them, he constantly daydreams about the surface world and what it's like. Until one day he comes across a treasure trove of human items. Now, his parents have continuously warned him not to go to the surface. Humans are bad. Stuff like that. But his curiosity gets the better of him as he follows this trail of goodies. As Luca is about to grab onto a gramophone, another young sea monster emerges out of nowhere and into his life. His name is Alberto, and he lives on an island in the harbor near an Italian fishing village. He lives in this abandoned tower upon the island, left alone by his father. Oh, geez, an absent parent in a Disney film? I wonder where this is gonna go. Anyways, the two soon become close friends, bonding over their love of the Vespa, and even making their own prototypes and dreaming about going and seeing the world together. Now, Alberto comes across as, well, he's trying to be the guy, know it all, the cool guy, has a bunch of knowledge about the human world, but in reality, he really doesn't know a whole lot about how the human world actually works. And that comes into play later on in the movie. Anyways, Luca's parents soon find out about his rendezvous to the surface world and plan on sending Luca away to the deep with his uncle on his father's side, who's pretty much this creepy anglerfish sea monster type deal with see-through skin. Yeah, that was creepy. Very creepy. And so Luca runs away and meets up with Alberto. The two soon come up with a plan. They will go to the village and get a Vespa. Once in the village, however, they soon realize that human life is a bit different than they originally thought. For starters, Vespas cost money, and they had no concept of money, so yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. But upon entering the village, they soon come upon the village outcast of sorts, a nerdy girl by the name of Julia, or Julieta, as her father calls her. By the way, the father is a really cool character. I mean, he's one of those dads that you really don't want to deal with. Like, oh wow, he's kind of intimidating there. Yeah, wow, cool mustache though. Anyways, Alberto and Luca go to live with Julia and her father for the summer. She's preparing for the annual race, or triathlon, excuse me. This triathlon is a team based contest, and where basically one person swims, another person eats pasta because this is being funded by a pasta company. And then the final stretch of the triathlon is a bicycle race through town. Now, this one older kid who's pretty much the town bully, he thinks he's hot stuff because he's won the race 5 times in a row. He basically thinks he's all that, but in reality, he's a jerk. And Julia has made it her life's mission to overthrow him, or at least tear down his tyrannical reign of terror, as she describes it. By the way, has anyone else noticed that this guy right here looks a lot like Sheldon from Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius? These two could literally be related to one another. Anyways, as Julia and Luca get to know each other better, bonding over their shared love of learning, Alberto begins to feel left out. slowly becoming jealous of the two, becoming closer. And all the while, Luca's parents, now in human form as well, are looking for Luca in the village. Alberto tells Luca not to worry about it, they're not in the village, but Luca saw them and he's pretty sure they are in the village, so that that builds a bit of a rift between the two friends. Alberto's jealousy eventually leads to him revealing to Julia and inadvertently the bullies that he is a sea monster, all just to spite and prove Luca wrong. But in a shocking twist, Luca turns on his friend just so he could appear human. Hurt and devastated by this, Alberta returns to the tower. Meanwhile, Julia and Luca return to the home of Julia's father. While Julia's father goes out to look for Alberto, Luca begins to freak out. Julia does the throw the glass of water at him gig, cliche, whatever. And Luca is revealed to be a sea monster as well. And so, with some encouragement from Julia, Luca goes to see Alberto in the tower. He climbs the tower in the dead of night and sees Alberto crying alone. He has torn down the poster of the Vespa that he loves so much, and right behind it is a series of tally marks. Yeah, remember when I said that the whole absent parent thing was going to come into play? This is where it's coming into play now. Yeah. So, for the longest time, I thought the dad was dead, but shockingly enough, this may actually be darker than any of that. Alberto's father isn't dead, or at least not dead as far as we know. He just straight up abandoned Alberto at the tower, saying he was old enough, he could take care of himself, and all the while Alberto was alone at the tower on that little island, collecting junk, not really knowing what to do with it. Alone for countless days. He literally lost count of how many days he had been alone until Luca came into his life. And so, in order to make it up to Alberto, Luca decides to enter the race himself. And that is as far as I'm going to go with the plot. It's still a relatively new movie, and so I don't think I really need to spoil it. Or at least spoil the last 20, 30 minutes. But yeah, that was Luca. My thoughts? This is a borderline masterpiece of a film. As I said earlier, this film felt a lot like a Studio Ghibli movie. I agree with the Guardian's article that this felt more like a Studio Ghibli movie than the most recent Studio Ghibli movie, which was Earwig and the Witch. If you want to hear more about what I thought of that, a link will be in the description below. It is pretty much just like a Studio Ghibli movie in how it focuses on the emotional character development of the various characters and the storytelling, as well as some amazing visuals. But it's not just like a Pixar film mashed together with a Pixar film. No, it's also a bit of Aardman entertainment in there as well, in some of the character designs, especially the main two characters of Alberto and Luca. Plus, it's just really nice to see a Pixar film be a little bit more cartoonish with some of the character animations, unlike some of the past works, and where they have tried to be more realistic. But yeah, gorgeous movie, fantastic animation, gorgeous visuals, fantastic top-notch rendering. Voice cast was phenomenal. The music was gorgeous. And I had to admit, the bad guy, which was the town bully, ended up being a lot darker than I thought. I mean, he was pretty much threatening to kill these two kids over a race. Over a children's bicycle race. That's pretty much what it is. It is a children's bicycle race. And he's willing to kill for it. Or at least threaten death. Threaten these kids with death. I mean, when I first saw him, I thought he was just going to be the standard bully. But no, he turned out to be a lot darker than I thought. That was kind of disturbing. Although it still makes me wonder if he's like Sheldon's great-great-grandfather or something. Because this is clearly based in like the 50s or something. I really don't know. But, anyways, my only real complaint about the movie is that it was somewhat predictable, especially in the third act and where it becomes a bit more like a sports film or child-friendly family sports film. It hits the same kind of beats that you would expect to see in films that you would see back in the 90s, like Mighty Ducks or one of those race movies, stuff like that. It's very similar beats. And again, absent parent, Disney film. Come on, we knew that the father wasn't in the picture. You're not fooling anyone, Disney and Pixar. We all saw that plot line coming. Although it was still shocking because the father could still potentially be alive. I thought for the longest time that he was dead. Because, again, Disney, absent parent, it pretty much goes hand in hand in these movies. But the fact that a parent literally abandoned his kid, even if they are sea monsters, it's shocking. Still amazingly shocking. But despite having a somewhat predictable plot in places and certain plot points that, again, were heavily cliched and predictable, I give Luca a 4.9 out of 5. It is a near perfect film. Well, that's all the time I have today. Don't forget to click that like button, that bell notification, check out my DeviantArt page, and subscribe for more reviews. This has been the Mr. Writer speaking, and until next time, sayonara.